afternoon to you, laddies. My name is Arthur, and welcome to a video, and I know that's what you guys came for anyway, so I don't know why I have to explain this sort of thing to you. I'm just sort of taking out my frustrations of not uploading things for like 2 weeks out on the camera because, you know, it's a camera. I can say whatever I want to it, but at the same time, it always comes back to you. So I'm sorry, camera, I hate you, but you guys, I love you. Welcome to the channel. Glad to have you here. Obviously, I've made some changes to the channel, some major changes, such as my attire. I hope you guys like the spiffy Batman outfit. You know, I made this myself. Thank you, Snuggie, for sponsoring today's video. They gave me the material to make this, and a link in the description on how to make one yourself. Alrighty, so these past 2 weeks have been very interesting for me. I haven't uploaded a lot, but I have recorded quite a bit with the crew and with Lancey and stuff like that. And I have some more Witch Hunt gameplay, but they changed the name to Witch It, which I found kind of interesting, and I think they changed it because of copyright reasons. They claim that they changed the name from Witch Hunt to Witch It because they wanted to, but we all know that is a baloney. That did not happen. A few days ago, I was given an email from playtest.com or something like that, and that's a website where you can go to sign up for a newsletter to let companies know that you're interested in playtesting their games for their companies. I was sent an email, and I was invited to have a chance to play a new Bethesda game. And so I thought that was kind of interesting, you know? What if I get to be one of the first to be able to play the next Elder Scrolls game or something? But no, that was unfortunately not the case. So I replied the email, and I've replied to it multiple times before in the past, over the past like 2 years, and I finally got a reply, and I was able to go into North Dallas and go to their building and playtest a game there, and that was really, really cool. I went to id Software. When I got there, I'll have a picture for you right here. You guys can see a Doom guy in the background and stuff like that. It was really, really cool. When I first got there, they needed my ID and stuff like that, so they took that, and then we had to fill out all these contracts saying that we wouldn't record or leak any information about what we did. And that even include whether or not we played on a keyboard or a controller. We couldn't say if I did play on a controller. I couldn't say what kind of controller. It was very, very specific. And so all I can say is that I went there for a playtest. I had a lot of fun, and it was in their corporate office in North Dallas, Texas, which was really cool. It was a really cool experience. We sat down, we played whatever it was. And, if you guys want to know what it is, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. I played well, that was kind of weird. My camera turned off for a second there. But yeah, that's what we played. And, I thought it was pretty interesting. It was definitely new. And then after I was able to play for 3 hours, and then after 3 hours, we went into another room and talked about what we liked, what we didn't like, what we thought could be changed or improved, and things like that. It was really cool. They wanted my feedback, and I was one of the first people to, outside of the company, to play the game, which was really, really cool. And there was only 5 of us there, and then 2 people watching over us, making sure we weren't recording or something like that, because even, while we were there were lockers, and we had to lock all of our like phones and stuff like that in the locker to make sure that we didn't record anything. And they were very strict. But at the end of the playtest stuff, they gave us a nice little goodie bag. It even had id Software logo on the bag and my name. And inside, we got a few things. Some ASMR for you. I know you like it whenever I do the ASMR thing. Inside the bag was a few items. The first one was a shirt, and it was a randomly selected shirt. The other guys I played with had different shirts than me and from each other. And so I got a Doom shirt, which is really cool. And how do I know this is Doom is because on the tag it says Doom Slayer t-shirt, so. And I thought that was really, really cool. That I got I got a shirt from Bethesda, and I went there and played their game and stuff like that. It was so cool. And also inside the bag was I got some Doom cards, and on the back it tells me what the enemies were and stuff like that. They're each different kind of cards, which was really cool. And also got a Nuka-Cola clip-on for your keychain, which is really cool. It's in the shape of a bottle cap. It's really heavy. That's awesome. And then the final thing, I didn't know what it was. It was this mysterious silver package. And we also had to wear name tags, so I stuck my name tag to it. And it has like the Evil Within right there, which was kind of cool. And it says something different on it. It says To Psycho Break. I don't know if that's a new title or something, but that's interesting. And what's inside here, that logo right there, if you guys have played the new Prey, you guys know what this logo is. And I haven't played the new Prey yet. I have never seen any gameplay of it or anything like that, but you know, I plan on playing it eventually. I played the first Prey, but not the recent one. And inside this bag, I was going to do a special reveal for this, but I know my sister is probably watching this and she already knows that I opened it. So inside the bag is this little booklet right here. And it has Prey on the back, right there. See, it says Prey and stuff like that. And inside of it is like a lot of like concept art and stuff like that for like the levels and the weaponry and things like that, which is really cool. And you know, it's kind of something that, you know, I haven't played yet. And here's like some images of early mimics right there. Yeah, you can see that. But you know, it's a really cool little booklet and things like that. And at the back it just says it just says remember to start writing things down. And I think what they did is they used some of these for their actual employees, because there's even like some like level design stuff in here that I don't think ever got released outside of this. And I think you could only get one of these whenever you pre-ordered a physical copy of Prey. So that's really cool that I have my own physical copy without even buying the game, you know? I just went and play tested a game there and I got a lot of free stuff. But I think that was really cool. It was a really great experience. I can't say anything about the game that I played. I played 3 hours of it, and it was a very interesting experience. It was different. It was really, really different going in and play testing something instead of sitting down and let's playing something. They even said before we started playing that it's just like, you know, if you guys do let's plays or whatever, you know, don't act like it's a let's play, because they recorded everything we did, from webcam to recording the screen. And they did that to have quality assurance, to make sure that they could see what we did, and if we had a problem, see how we did it. And they said, you know, just ignore the cameras, ignore the recording software, just, you know, go in, play the game like you normally would, like if you were sitting on a couch or in front of your computer or whatever. And, you know, that's what I did. I didn't try and let's play it or anything. I actually just played a game for once just to play it. And I thought that was really different, because I haven't played all the way through a game besides, let's say, like Lego Worlds, without recording it for a long time. I normally let's play everything I do, and I played a lot of No Man's Sky and stuff like that, but I mean, besides very minute games, I always record everything. And it doesn't matter what it is, even if it's not horror or anything like that. You know, I'll go in and record it just in case like something happens, and I already have the game recorded, so I don't have to worry. Alrighty, so let's transition into the second part of the video, which is, I'm getting really stale when it comes to horror games. And the reason for that is Outlast 2 completely ruined them for me. Outlast 2 was a commercial success, but it wasn't that great compared to the first one. In interviews with the developers, they said that the first game was very limited and they had a set date to release the game because of budget. But with the second game, you know, they had all the time they needed. They even delayed the game. And you know, that was great. They were able to have more time and they had more money because the game is more polished than the first one and things like that. But they said that the first game was meant to be like claustrophobic horror, and then the second game is supposed to be more or less like psychological horror. So instead of you getting scared by like all the blood and guts, the game is trying to scare you through getting into your head. And very few games have successfully gotten into my head. And I always make a point to say it in the video if I am playing a horror game. I let you guys know whenever I'm either sweating or like kind of freaked out about what's going on. And I said that about Toy Box, but Toy Box delved into my demon children fear, or like puppet fear, which I have an immense fear of demon children. And that's just, you know, a fear I have. That's why The Shining was so amazing to me, because The Shining has, you know, ghost kids and, you know, hallucinations and things like that. But Outlast 2 didn't really have anything remotely terrifying. I know they tried to crucify you and they tried to bury you alive and things like that. They tried to get into your head that way, but overall it just didn't get to me, mainly because of the religious aspect of the game. And the game was primarily based on something that happened in the past where all of this cult followers people, they all drank poison and killed everybody. About 900 something people died. But it didn't remotely scare me as much as the first game, because the first game was, you know, I felt the claustrophobia and the things like that. I felt very confined to this building. But in Outlast 2, we even had like this 15-minute raft ride to give us a break and things like that. I mean, it was really boring, honestly. And I had to say the same about parts in Resident Evil 7, but Resident Evil 7 is one of my favorite horror games in the past few years. Resident Evil 7 did a lot right. At first I thought the price tag of $60 was kind of steep, but after playing through it multiple times, I completely understand it. It has a lot of replayability. Outlast 2, however, it doesn't really have a lot unless you're going for achievements. But with Resident Evil 7, I played through it multiple times just because I wanted to, and also if you beat the game in like under 4 hours and stuff, you get unlocks and things like that. But with Outlast 2, you can't, there's no combat, right? So it's like there's not much for you to do besides collect notes and batteries and record things with your camera. And I think that's kind of where it fell flat. If there was a little bit of combat where you could at least push away like an enemy, that would have been great. But from here on out, I'm going to stop with my cussing again. I'm gonna have another no cussing rule in place on the channel for family friendliness, because that's starting to become a plague on YouTube, where you have to be family friendly if you want to have revenue. And the revenue thing doesn't really affect me that much like it does others, but I've noticed it's been dropping my YouTube money quite a bit, because I was making around like $30 a month, but now I'm making like 10. And I'm also not going to be playing a lot of horror games, and that's just a personal choice. The horror game thing has just run dry for me. There's not really much out there right now that's worth my time. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to hook my PS3 back up, and I'm going to play Catherine, probably, because I always go back and watch PewDiePie play through Catherine every now and again, and I've watched him play it 3 times, and I think it's a phenomenal game, and I would really love to show you that game, and also there's choices in the game that I can make different than him. So my playthrough will probably be completely different than his, and I think that's kind of interesting, because there's multiple endings to the game depending on what you do. And it's a puzzle game, and it's kind of horror, but I like it. It's a really, really cool game, and it was hard to find. Catherine was a really hard game to find for me. And I'll probably hook that up. I might play Sly Cooper. I think that's a really cool game from my childhood. And I'll play like Lego games and stuff like that. I know it's a big change from what I normally play. I normally play horror games, I get it. But they're just not fun to me anymore. You know, the point of a horror game is for you to get that adrenaline that you will get, and you start sweating and you start wondering where the next scare is going to be. Where's the jump scare? This is terrifying because it's getting in my head type thing, and it hasn't happened in a long time. And it's become really annoying trying to get through horror games these days. With Outlast 2, a lot of people's series are like 12 episodes long. My series of Outlast 2 is 5 episodes long, and that's just because I wanted to get through it and get it over with. At one point, in even one of the episodes that I'm going to edit, you can see me walk out of the room because of how frustrated I was getting with the game. It was starting to become really, really annoying. But there you guys have it. This is a really big update video for you guys. I wanted to show you what I got from Bethesda and talk about my little trip there. And I also wanted to tell you that I'm no longer cussing on the channel again. I'm gonna go along with it, and no more horror. I do have a lot pre-recorded already, so you know I'll upload that. But after that, it's probably gonna be not a lot of horror on the channel, which is where I came from, but times are changing. They really are. And you need to change, and horror as a genre is starting to slowly die off. And it'll pick back up around October, and that's just because of Halloween. So, you know, that's just kind of how horror games work. But thank you, everybody, so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. Do it. Hit the like button, and also subscribe to the channel if you're new, and also hit the bell so that way you guys always know whenever I upload a video. And subscribe, like, favorite, subscribe, send nudes, and also send this to your Facebooks and Twitters and things like that. And there's no juice in here, so it's just burning, and it tastes like garbage. And as always, I'll see you guys later. It gets really hot with that thing on whenever my recording lights are on. Jesus Christ.